forces of Antai village are being prepared for battle. There's a big crowd in and barely a vantage point left to get a glimpse of today's highlight. The sight of two stallions induced into fighting over a mare simply for entertainment would appall many people. But life can be tough in the mountains of Guangxi, and there's little room for sentimentality here. Apart from tradition, it's also a pleasant diversion from the trying economic circumstances closing in on these farmers. Years ago, it would have been hard to imagine that events on Wall Street could affect life in this mountain village. But even here, the world financial crisis is being felt. At this time, throughout rural China, 130 million people leave their farms, to return only briefly every 12 months. In the cities, they'll become what's known as migrant workers.
我们村就有2000多，我们村呢大概会有700人吧，一般呢都得就我们村呢今年呢都是到广东的打工的，我就比较呢我们比较老年人呢就得在家送这种干切了，
In China, a farmer can earn around $275 a year. If they leave to go and work in manufacturing, this will become more like $1,800 a year. They can never own the land they work, because here land belongs to the state. But if a farmer goes to the city to look for a job, they can lease out the right to use their farm. 53-year-old Wei San-che doesn't have a problem with the young people leaving.
不难的，他们到广东的选点钱回来给老人家呢，就是讲呢生活都比较美满生活的，就是讲呢家里都想搞什么楼房什么的，所以上呢我们老人呢也比较呢。
But the villagers know that many factories have closed down, and that this year it'll be much harder for their people to find work. We'll be travelling with them to see how they go. Migrant workers from all around this region arrive at the local train station. Though there are many industrial cities, Guandong province in the south is their main destination. For some, it's still a great adventure.
那里经济比较繁华一点嘛，因为年轻人想见一下世面，对不对？那我想去那里看一下，如果有好工作的话，就在那里做；如果没好工作的，直接回柳州。
Yet for most, there's really only one compelling reason to make this journey.
为了生活啊，是吧？那边打工啊，没有钱了，我们都往那边去啊。
那你去那边工作有什么希望？
现在先去先的，不懂得哪样了。
The willingness to leave is one thing, but actually getting out of here is another. There are many more people than places, and you can wait here for days to get on a train. Despite the economic downturn, there are still plenty of rural workers boarding this train in search of a better life. The tickets, they're pretty hard to come by. The cheapest, they entitle you to stand up all the way on the 16-hour journey. China's enormous rail system moves tens of millions of migrant workers to industrial centres in little over a week. This annual mobilisation delivers the workforce which has made the country's manufacturing miracle possible. But 20 million of the jobs done by these blue-collar workers have disappeared over the last year, according to one government estimate. As the train moves through the night, at every new station it's the same story. More and more rural workers race along the platform to get on board. It's not until we arrive in Guangzhou that you realise how many workers we've picked up along the way. The crowd surges out and into their uncertain city life. Welcome to the Pearl River Delta. 40,000 heavily polluted square kilometres, stretching from Hong Kong to Guangzhou. Hundreds of thousands of enterprises, big and small, legal and illegal. The Chinese call this the world's factory. This was the birthplace of China's new economy. In the 1980s, former leader Deng Xiaoping granted it special economic status. And from here, the capitalist revolution would spread.
很喜欢这个地方的，
为什么？
一种感觉吧，就感觉蛮喜欢这里的，因为觉得这里应该是比我们家里漂亮吧，所以比较喜欢这里。
Here we meet 22-year-old Xiong Yan. She lost her job last year when the factory she worked in slashed staff numbers. Back in her mountain village, her father broke his arm recently. His treatment cost more than what she can earn in a year. She has to find work.
因为家里比较困难，所以我一般的工资都是寄回去，自己用一点，生活用品呢就是买一点自己的东西，然后那些钱就可以存起来，就给家里寄回去。
Xiong Yan pays this large employment agency the equivalent of half a week's salary for a month of job searching. And every day there are many thousands more people like her who come to sign up. There's a sense of urgency in the job hunting here. Most people only have enough money to survive for a matter of weeks. If the money runs out and they have no job, it's mission failure.
现在找工作的人太多了，竞争力比较大嘛，就是应该会越来越难的。
Xiong Yan thinks she might have found a job she could get. At the service desk, they screen her to see if she's suitable, checking her job history. A telephone call to the company will determine if she gets an interview. She waits anxiously.
哎，你加到一个吗？
对，
那个是什么样的公司？
是一个电线厂，
你觉得你的机会怎么样？
挺大的。
挺大的吗？有面试吗？
有面试，下午2点。
2点。
对。
那我们出去吧。
There's added pressure on Xiong Yan, knowing that her family is relying on her. Though she says she's confident, it's a job using a computer program that in reality she's not used to. Inside the factory, she's questioned and tested for 2 hours. She re-emerges and it doesn't look too good.
那什么结果？
他叫我等通知，等通知的话，应该没什么希望了吧？
是吗？那为什么？
是我自己的原因了，不是很熟练。因为他们招的，反正要求比较高一点吧。有点难过。
为什么？
因为已经努力了嘛，我也不知道。然后我觉得这份工作还很好，是我想要的那种工作，但是我这样失去了就，所以比较难过。
2009 has turned the tables on China's migrant workers. Up until a year ago, things were starting to look up. The manufacturing business was booming, and because of a labour shortage, companies were finally having to offer more money to attract workers.
所以长期以来，农民工的工资非常的低，被压到非常低水平。加上没有社会保障，没有医疗，没有教育权利，所以他们的生活非常的贫穷。就是应该操作员。
Dr. Liu Kaiming's NGO specialises in migrant workers. He says employers and government officials have deliberately kept workers poor for the sake of the economy. His work is bringing him close to getting into serious trouble here.
他们无法改变命运的根本的原因，就是中国的目前的政治制度是制度性的剥削这些农民。
But China's rulers know that this has created an ever-widening income gap. They turned a blind eye to it for a long time because the country was drunk on economic prosperity. But it was decided that enough was enough, and last year new laws were introduced to protect the poorest workers. Meanwhile, there was trouble brewing overseas. There are lots of different jobs on offer here, but for every one of these jobs, there are plenty of applicants. In the case of bad timing, the Chinese government's new provisions to help low-paid workers have coincided with the world economic crisis. Many employers have complained about this additional cost in tough economic times. So we go to meet the boss of a large manufacturing company to see what he thinks. Cliff Sun from Hong Kong is the managing director of Kinox Enterprises, which makes kitchenware like coffee pots. Because 96% of his products are exported, he's particularly exposed to the current crisis. He's trying to sell into the local market, but his goods are a bit too expensive for China. Sun says he can't believe the government has gone ahead with new provisions to protect workers in the current climate.
If a company would want to dismiss 20% or 10% of their workforce, whichever is less, then they have to give notice to the workers 1 month in advance.
And
so
do
as
you think
to,
this is reasonable?
It is not.
Sun says his orders from Australia, America and Europe are down by 30%, and that he's had to cut staff numbers by 10%. Under the new laws, a sacked employee gets a month's salary for every year worked. Also, a worker must become full-time after 2 fixed-term contracts. Cliff Sun says employees have a greater voice than employers at the moment, and that this is putting enormous pressure on the bosses of the Pearl River Delta.
Unfortunately, this was legislated when the economy was so good, then everybody would think, yeah, the employer should pay a little more. You know, they should not just, they should not be so greedy.
应该说，老板那些说法是完全不正确的。由于中国实行的是抑制公园的重商政策，我 我们更关注的是老板的利益、资本利益、经济的发展。所以我们对工人的权利、对遵守法律是完全不管的。
Whoever's right in this debate, the government has stood firm on the new labour laws at a time when the stress on manufacturing is there to be seen. This place used to make bicycles for export until it closed last year. And all around Guandong, this is what you'll find: big empty factories available for lease. The funny thing is that locals see an upside to the current situation. If you want to get your hands on some cheap factory space, now's the time to do it. For the companies who have survived, there are other benefits emerging from this crisis.
The people who have been working for us in the last years, we will not be able to lower their salaries. No. But it's the new one that we are recruiting, we may offer them the term less attractive than we used to offer.
Into this mix of businesses closing, lower pay and higher unemployment steps the man nicknamed the Migrant Workers General. Zhang Chuanshou was once a migrant worker himself and now runs this labour supply company.
向右看齐，向前看，立正，向右转。
Migrant workers, mostly in their 20s, come here to find work. And they get a fair dose of the boot camp treatment on arrival.
同志们好！ 今年全球性的经济危机造成农民工今年就业的困难。同志们，不要怕，要相信我们会好起来。但你到别的厂里，
让他们有活干、有饭吃，能挣到钱，让他们相信我。
我们再把所有的男员工
信任我，也是鼓励他们。但是我一定得做到。 让他们有工作干。
今天晚上来个狂欢歌舞晚会，好不好？
对他们来说，今年比去年是不是
差多了？
很差多了吗？
是，去年我们公司18000多人，今年才来了几千人，5、6千人，才上班了3000多，30千人，还有1000多没有上班。
The General's workers get free board and meals here. Even if he hasn't found them a job. He'll take a cut of their salary once they start getting paid.
我们会想家的，我们都是自己人嘛，有时间可以说说笑笑就过去了。然后就是我们玩的时候，随便就是我们公司里面的人说啊、玩啊、聊天什么都可以啊。他们的这些设备也蛮好的。
In an uncertain time, they feel like they have some protection here. The food that's served is what these young workers eat back at home. It's a bit of comfort. The General is now a delegate to China's annual session of Parliament. He's become a man with connections. In China, that means he's well placed to stitch up business deals.
哎，加点糖。能在这里等一阵儿。 慢慢的都会有人要，在一个实践一个过程。
And sure enough, teams of workers are seen forming up in lines. Without any great fanfare, those who've been found a job grab their things and head out the front gate. The buses are waiting to take them to their new factory homes. It's this peaceful resolution to the current crisis that the government is hoping to see more of. What they fear is something else. There's an unspoken pact between the Chinese people and their leaders. The government delivers an ever-improving economy, and the people don't pour back into Tiananmen Square to protest. That's why officials have declared that the country's economic growth rate can't be allowed to fall below 8% to avoid any form of social instability.
最怕的可怕就是刚才讲这些找不到工作的农民工起来抗议，对挑战政府的合法性，那么要求政府，包括要求共产党下台。
那您觉得那个结果是一个很大的可能，还是很小的？
有30%的可能性。应该说，最大的可能性还是像去年那样，不会发生这些问题。但是有30%的可能性是会发生1989年那样的事情。
Of course, this could all be avoided if the Chinese government's $550 billion stimulus package boosts local demand enough. The strategy is to get the wheels of commerce moving by freeing up loans, bringing forward infrastructure projects, and encouraging Chinese people to start spending more to make up for lost export revenue.
The manufacturing sectors will probably be the first to recover. The financial tsunami really is hurting the stock market, the banks, the real estate property market. Those are being hard hit, and it takes a long time for them to recover. But in the retail level, in the consumer market, there is always some demand for certain, necessities.
And the manufacturing sector has come good for our persistent job seeker. Xiong Yan has found work as a graphic illustrator in a clothing company. Her city life is looking up.
我寄回去一般都是我有钱我就寄回去，然后我爸爸他们自己支配，因为他们钱也不会说是拿来干嘛什么的。有时候我爸爸的话，他们就会买一点，自己需要的嘛。有时候像家里种庄稼又需要肥料啊什么的，农肥嘛，然后就是买点肥料啊，然后就是有时候就是给我姐姐助学费啊。
Some villagers will lose half their income if their people don't go to work in the cities. Yet China's migrant workers, like its entire rural population, are remarkably resilient. In recent decades, they've put down the plough and taken up the soldering iron. If some of them now have to return to farming to ride out this economic downturn, at least they'll survive. And that's what they'll tell you it's all about. To survive whatever crisis is thrown at you and live for a better day.